Welcome to Great Gear. I'm Matthew Masaru Barron. 3 years ago, northern Japan was hit with a threefold disaster that scarred the country, as well as the hearts of people here and around the world. The physical damage was beyond comprehension. The loss of life, unspeakable. As time goes on, so does recovery. And on today's program, we focus on some of the people and things connected to the events of March 11th, 2011. It may seem odd that we begin today's program with a look at a company that makes wet and dry suits, but it's the perfect example of a business that managed to make it through the disaster and is now even growing. It may be something most people would rather not think about, but earthquakes are part of life here in Japan. Today's on-site segment takes us to the Disaster Technology Expo in search of the best ideas to help prevent damage and aid in recovery. Finally, on Revision, we visit one of the hardest hit areas of the disaster zone. Since long before the disaster, it was known for its Japanese cedars. We'll see why the residents there take great pride in this beautiful tree that's not only a local symbol, but also a valuable natural resource. One of the most important keys to rebuilding disaster-hit areas is for businesses to commit to staying there and hopefully grow. In the devastated city of Ishinomaki, one such company has not only survived, but is thriving. Producing mainly custom wet and dry suits, they've branched out with some new and popular items.
These small, colorful pouches are perfect for storing small items such as USB flash drives. This coin purse opens to reveal another face inside. Both products were made out of wetsuit material. This is Ishinomaki City in Miyagi Prefecture. The city's thriving fishing and fish processing industry was heavily damaged in the 2011 earthquake and tsunami, and the city is currently undergoing reconstruction. The head office building of Moby Dick, Japan's leading wetsuit and dry suit manufacturer, is located here. Their suits are used in marine sports such as diving and surfing. The company started off by making free diving suits for fishing purposes. Company president Mamoru Yasuda is an Ishinomaki local.
50周年迎えますけれども、オーダーメイドに特化しましてですね、スキルを磨いてきた状態ですね。ウェットスーツっていうのは体にぴったり合って、なおかつ動きやすいということが必要要件になってきますので、なかなかその既製品ですと十分なフィッティングが得られないということで、特に日本のお客様はですね、そういうことが非常にシビアなものですから、ウェットスーツもオーダーメイドを好まれる傾向があるんですね。
The order sheets they receive from their retailers list over 30 measurements. Custom-made suits currently account for 80% of their business. The company was one of the first in the industry to incorporate CAD systems. The order sheet data is inputted into the computer, and the suit parts are made according to the customer's specific measurements. The CAD data is then sent to a cutting plotter, which creates the patterns. Their wet suits and dry suits are made with a material called chloroprene. The company must keep a large inventory in order to offer customers a variety of colors and designs. Each piece is precisely cut according to the patterns. Cutting out the pieces inevitably produces scrap material. Depending on the product, they may use an auto cutter that is directly linked to the CAD system. The edges of the chloroprene pieces are then coated with adhesive. Gluing the parts together requires a high level of skill, as each piece must be perfectly aligned. It's even more difficult when materials of varying thicknesses are glued together. Stitching the wetsuits also requires special techniques. The company uses a machine that stitches the inside of the thick material. Every suit is put through an underwater test before it's shipped out. The company places a large emphasis on quality control and product development.
従来にないその着脱の仕方を考案をしておりますし、それによってより着脱が楽になると同時に動きやすいというそういうスーツも今開発をしております。素材面でもやはり年々その新しいものを開発をしておりますが、やはり日本にしかできないそういった 素材開発をですね、素材メーカーさんと一緒になって今進めているところです。
The leftover fabric is sorted and set aside. It'll be used to make accessories. Shinya Kikuta is in charge of the accessory department.
一番最初は、エコフレンドリーラインといって、ウェットスーツの端切れを使った、商品を、工場のスタッフが、一人一人がですね、スタッフ一人一人が、開発していったということが始まりとなっております。ウェットスーツを作る技術をそのまま活用して作っておりますので、小さいですけれどもすごく手の込んだ商品となっております。
Shown here are smartphone pouches and plastic bottle holders. Made out of leftover material, each is one of a kind. The project was in its development stage when the 2011 Tohoku disaster hit and was temporarily suspended. When it was restarted, it took on a whole new meaning.
震災になって、お仕事をなくされている方々、そして仮設住宅でお住まいの方々、このプロジェクトを再生するとともに、地域の支援、内職としてお仕事を振ることによって雇用を生む、それを、このアクセサリーを通してできるんじゃないかというふうに考えて今こういった活動をしております。
They worked with an outside designer to create a new product line using original material instead of scrap fabric. Over 30 locals participated in the project. All of the accessories are designed after sea creatures. This cloth wrapper can be turned into a manta ray-shaped shoulder bag. This whale-shaped cell phone pouch can be attached to a belt loop. This holder is for storing a wet foldable umbrella. The glasses case is shaped like a sea slug and comes with a carabiner and a suction cup. The puffer fish-shaped pouch can be used as a key case or coin purse. The stone print design was inspired by the name Ishinomaki, which means swirling stone. The company used their attention to detail and product development capability to create these unique handmade accessories and are helping to provide support for the local area.
Many of the company's employees lost their homes to the tsunami and unfortunately are still living in small temporary buildings. Hopefully, as more businesses like Moby Dick get back on their feet, people will be able to return to permanent housing. By the way, the company's name was inspired by an encounter its president had with a sperm whale while scuba diving as a youth. Partly in reaction to the events of 2011, many new products and technologies related to disaster preparation and recovery have filled the market. Today, Brian Hughes highlights some of them at the Disaster Technology Expo in Tokyo.
Hello. Japan is well known as a disaster hotspot, particularly earthquakes. And the damage they cause can have significant long-term effects. They cause damage to property, but they can also make recovery difficult because of disruptions to utilities. So disaster prevention is something taken very seriously here. And it's particularly important and something that we can't afford to forget here in the Tokyo area, which is overdue for a major event. Something I can't afford to forget either since I live here. And the Disaster Prevention Technology Expo is the best place to find ways to help us prepare, as well as make recovery efforts faster and more effective. So let's go on in and take a look. This exhibition is all about the nuts and bolts technical solutions that are the backbone of earthquake safety. But there are also a number of genre-defying products and services that, while perhaps unexpected, offer their own unique contributions to disaster prevention. Known as a world-class tire maker, this firm also has a hand in earthquake countermeasures. Designed to be installed under the foundation of a building, dampers help absorb the vibration from earthquakes. This version of the system has a solid core, which gives it increased damping capabilities. In a recent refit, 352 of the dampers were installed under Tokyo Station. Though not to scale, this model illustrates how the system can prevent damage, preserving this important cultural icon well into the future. This special truck was set up to allow visitors to see just how effective the dampers can be. This is what the 2011 Tohoku earthquake would feel like in an ordinary building constructed to Japan's strict codes. Now, here's what it would be like in the same building with the dampers installed. The shaking is greatly reduced, and the resulting motion is almost gentle, which means that the risk of damage to the building as well as injury from falling objects is greatly reduced.
You know, I really felt the power of the earthquake, especially when the system was turned off. It was pretty scary. But when it was turned on, it was moving, but it wasn't frightening at all. The system definitely offers peace of mind.
Next, let's take a look at an altogether more simple solution for earthquake damage prevention. Two low-friction fluorocarbon polymer sheets are sandwiched between a waterproof layer below, which covers the ground, and a protective upper layer that is in direct contact with the foundation. The system reduces the damage caused by earthquakes because the two sheets can slide over each other freely. This means that the shaking felt inside is effectively limited to that of a level 5 quake on the Japanese seismic scale. Here's a demonstration, first with the system disabled.
Okay, whoa, that's pretty serious shaking. Oh, my. Whoa.
When the blocks are removed, the sheets slide freely.
Well, with the blocks removed, well, even though it's not quite as effective as the major size system we saw before, it does work well, and it's very cost effective.
This Japanese university is currently developing a radar-based disaster prevention system. Their research also has possible applications for finding buried landmines. Primarily intended for landslide detection, this system uses a special type of radar known as SAR, or synthetic aperture radar. SAR is ordinarily used in satellites or aircraft for ground observation from above. Their research team has developed a ground-based version that is capable of large-scale monitoring of landslide hotspots from a fixed terrestrial position. The system is currently being used in Miyagi Prefecture in northern Japan to monitor a particularly unstable cliff face. Incredibly accurate, it can detect surface movements as small as 1 centimeter. Let's hear from the lead researcher.
Yeah, now we are doing such a landslide monitoring in Aratozawa, in the North Japan. In that area, we had an earthquake in 2008, and more than 20 people were killed. And the local government needs some technique, continuous measurement or the observation of the landslide status. So there are many places in Japan that is suffer from the potential landslide, and we think this kind of technology can be deployed many places in Japan.
This firm is a supplier of components used in building construction. They make and supply all the parts necessary for suspended ceilings, which are common in offices in Japan and around the world. Ceilings like this are also common causes of injuries in earthquakes, as the panels are prone to breakage. However, this particular installation is not as ordinary as it may seem. What makes it unique are a set of special fittings and wires that are meant to prevent such accidents. Even if the panel breaks away completely, there's no risk of falling debris, and evacuation routes are kept clear. Toyogi-ken is a manufacturer of water filtration systems. They've developed this emergency use water filtration system that works just like a straw. Its compact design means you can easily keep it in a drawer or even take it with you, so you never have to worry about having clean water to drink. It also comes with a disinfectant to handle possible bacterial contamination.
Well, I got water, and it doesn't taste that bad.
So what if you're not exactly thrilled about drinking dirty water through a straw? Well, there's also this one, a new product that can be attached to a standard plastic bottle, and all you have to do is squeeze.
This design makes it easy to purify water for later use, or even for cooking.
Not bad. And you know, when an emergency happens, you can never be sure if your tap water is safe, particularly after an earthquake. This seems like a really good idea.
Here's something else worth keeping at home or in the office. It's a safety helmet, which features useful items like a waterproof two-way radio. It gets its power from an external battery.
Hello, hello, come in, come in.
It also includes an LED lamp that can be used for 38 hours straight. It even includes a world band FM radio, so you'll never miss vital emergency broadcasts.
Well, I think this would be a great idea for a neighborhood organization. Each member could keep one in their house, and they could communicate easily in case of a disaster. And be safe, too. Eh? What's that? Let's go take a look.
It turns out the smoke was coming from this emergency evacuation beacon. In the case of a tsunami in particular, it's vital to evacuate low-lying areas as quickly as possible. 1 minute, even 1 second, can mean the difference between life and death. Designed to be installed at tsunami evacuation sites, on high ground or the rooftops of tall buildings, it uses smoke, flashing lights, and a piercing siren to warn the local population as far as 1,000 meters away.
Well, smoke signals have been around forever. But when it comes to conveying information quickly, nothing beats them. It moves at the speed of light.
This firm manufactures components for electrical wiring installation, including conduit. Already in use in 2011, apparently this system helped to prevent damage to underground wiring during the Tohoku earthquake. The way the system works is quite ingenious and yet surprisingly simple. It slides and flexes with the movements of an earthquake, protecting against the breakage, disconnects, and even potential flooding that underground cabling is susceptible to. As you can see in this admittedly tame demonstration, even with a significant shift in the ground level, the cabling contained within is completely protected. Does the system have potential for use overseas?
I understand there are many earthquake risky countries all over the world. For example, Turkish or west coast of US. So if we have a chance, we would like to recommend or design or, of course, manufacture like this piping system for all over the country.
Well, it's impossible to plan for every situation. But when it comes to earthquakes and other disasters, it can be said that Japan is one of the best prepared countries in the world. That's particularly the case after March 11th of 2011. They use new technologies as well as existing ones to be as prepared as is possible. That's all for today. I'm Brian Hughes reporting. I'll see you next time. Stay safe.
Thanks, Brian. Although the earthquake and tsunami 3 years ago may have been one of the most devastating in recorded history, it certainly won't be the last. There's nothing we can do about that. But it's good to know that there are companies out there doing what they can to help us prepare. Nature gives us blessings and trials. The people of northeastern Japan have had to endure the most challenging of trials. But I recently visited Minami Sanriku and discovered that the people's pride in a local natural resource has survived intact.
Here we are in the Tohoku district in Minami Sanriku, a quiet seaside town in the northeastern part of Miyagi Prefecture. The town was once nestled between fertile mountainous lands and the bountiful ocean, but the beautiful landscape was completely transformed after it was struck by the tsunami of 2011. I paid a visit to a company that, after sustaining heavy loss during the disaster, got back on their feet and started anew.
Welcome to Minami Sanriku, Miyagi. Now, I'm here at the lumber mill, but what's the difference between a normal Japanese cedar tree and Minami Sanriku Sugi? Well, let's find out together. Let's go.
It's a lumber company named Maruhei Timber. All of their previous facilities located by the seaside were wiped out, but 1 year later, they had rebuilt everything. I spoke with CEO Kunio Onodera, who led the initiative to rebuild the 105-year-old business in their timber yard on the mountainside.
当社では2008年からなんとかこの地域の木材、特に杉材をブランド化できないものかなという実践をしておりました。そういった活動が認められて、南三陸町山の会としまして、2011年の3月の1日に、全国林業経営者コンクールという全国大会がありまして、そこで優勝することができ、3月の17日には、100名以上のご来賓をお呼びして、大祝賀会の予約までして、いろんな準備をしていた。まさしくその最中、まさかその受賞の10日後の3月の11日に思いもよらない、東日本大震災に襲われることになりました。
I went to take a look at a beautiful grove used for growing the Minami Sanriku cedar. The trees are produced here thanks to the combined efforts of Onodera, the landowner, and a forestry cooperative.
Just looking at this, it's just beautiful. True gift from nature.
南三陸の地域っていうのは非常に豊かな海に恵まれております。この実は海というのが山にとって非常に大事な存在なんですね。夏なんか、日中非常に午前中なんか暑い時にはお昼あたりから海洋性飲むって言って非常に濃い霧が山に立ち込めてきます。この霧の中にミネラルいっぱいの水分、これが山に立ち込めるものですから、それが山の恵みとなっているんですね。つまり、海は森の母、そして山は海の父というふうに言えるかと思います。
To prevent freezing in winter, trees rid themselves of moisture during autumn and rest until spring when they will need to absorb water for new growth. Maruhei cuts down trees in the winter when their water level is at its lowest. They call this timely cutting. From columns to beams, along with floorboards, ceiling boards, and wall materials, they have adopted what they call a one-process-fits-all approach and make all the wood used to build a home through the same process and philosophy. I was really impressed by all the effort and care they put in their work. They use a low-temperature drying process for the wood.
木はこの中でゆっくりゆっくりと水分だけを今出してくれてます。油は一切外に出してないです。生きている木っていうふうなお話をよくしますけど、生きている木の条件として細胞が壊れていないこと、健康なままであるっていうこと、それから生き物にとって必要条件の酵素が死んでいないこと、それと3つ目、最も大切な精油成分、これを吐き出していないっていうこと、これらが人間にとって非常に恩恵をもたらしてくれるものなんですね。
The standard 100 degrees Celsius drying method removes all the oils that normally protect the wood from insects and rot. The low temperature drying method is 2 to 5 times slower than the conventional high temperature process. However, the water that comes out doesn't contain any oil, so it is clear and odorless. The cedar dried at 45 degrees Celsius still contains all of its essential oils, so its surface can be easily evened out with a planer. The low-temperature dried wood feels incredibly smooth to the touch.
By drying it with low temperature, the cells inside are still alive. As you can see, it's nice and smooth and smells much better.
ご自宅を建てられるとき、住まいを建てられるときに、住まいというのはその人たちの暮らしにとってかけがえのないものだと思うんですね。そのかけがえのない暮らし、これからずっと続くその暮らしの中の貴重な存在になる木というものに、これをまずスタートから関わってほしい。 という思いがあったんです。そのご家族にとっては一番大きなイベントになると思うんですね。なのであえて小さなお子さんだろうが一緒に来ていただいてですね、自ら抜刀体験をしていただく。
So, we just checked out some great wood, but with great wood, what kind of house can you make? Well, let's check it out.
The owner of this house went to visit Maruhei's grove and selected herself the trees that would make the columns and beams to build her home. She was more than happy to tell us about her wooden house.
やっぱり癒し効果だと思います。すごい湿度であるとかそういうことももちろん物理的なものも快適なんですね。目にも優しいですし、うちの中にいて本当に森林浴をしているような感じですね。
Her house was of course built with low temperature dried lumber. It really did feel like a stroll in the forest.
東日本大震災によって壊滅状態になってしまいました。本当に圧倒的な自然の力だったと思います。そのせいで、犠牲と不幸も確かにありました。でもその圧倒的な自然の脅威、そしてまた大きな恵みっていうのは表裏一体だと思うんですね。どっちかを取ることはできないと思います。我々は今回の震災を目の当たりにして人間の力の無力というものをもう嫌というほど見せつけられました。なので震災後もっとさっきお話しした自然、そして木の力、そして杉の力、クリプトメリア・ジャポニカ、日本の隠された財産というこの可能性にかけてみたいなっていう思いがあります。
He also said that losing everything has strengthened his connection to the area's mountains and renewed his gratitude for cedar and the vitality it brought to his business and the whole region.
When we hear the quote, "Love life," we sometimes forget it's not just meant for people, but all life on Earth. When a tree is cut down and taken to a lumber mill, I've always thought that's the end of its life. But my thoughts were changed after I learned about Minami Sanrikusugi and the people who treasure it. That's all for today. Thanks for joining us. Tune in again next time when we'll introduce you to even more great gear. Until then, I'm Matthew Masaru Barron. では。
NHK World, your eye on Asia.
Here are two great ways to get the most out of NHK World online. Watch NHK World TV live online. A wider variety of programs is now available, so make sure you stay tuned. Check out our smartphone applications. You can now watch NHK World TV on your smartphone and listen to Radio Japan in 17 different languages. Don't miss NHK World online.
Newsline brings you the latest from Japan, Asia, and the world, covering critical choices and crucial developments with a perspective from this part of the globe. Anchors backed by years of experience tell you what's happening now and what's likely next. Newsline, on the hour, every hour, from NHK World.